and we have
Smell good.
We have a live audience. We're going to have to get this into a poll. Miss Lover's just bought 200 shirts. He wants to put Forest Hall on them to sell them. And I posit that you will sell probably 70% more if you print on it Forest Ass instead of Forest Hall.
You know what?
Would you buy Forest Ass over Forest Hall?
You know what's sad about that? You're fucking right.
I think I am.
You are.
Poll. Get the poll going.
Poll.
Who would vote? Who would buy a Forest Hall shirt? Who would buy a Forest Ass shirt?
And while you're thinking that, welcome to the Friendlyjordies podcast. Thank you for joining us. And for those of you that were here before, apologize for the technical difficulties. But now we've got 2 cameras, baby.
Look at that.
You did it.
We are up to 66% of capacity.
The highest we've ever been.
Yeah,
It was a Texas
there was a
lockout.
glory year there where there was maybe 2 weeks where we were as good as the average Twitcher that just started out.
Yeah.
But that just isn't Friendly Jordies, is it?
No, well,
And it's certainly not Friendly Jimmys.
when we had that pimp ass studio, things were very different.
That's true as well.
That was weird.
that was
But that
definitely
also
not us
cost
either.
$3,000 an episode.
How crazy was that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. We were paying $3,000 for just those bobbleheads that are just like really far in the background.
Well, we weren't
That's
paying
true.
anything.
No, I know, but like
Twitch was paying $3,000.
totally. But it's just so weird that it's just like, yep, $3,000. Why is that? It's your basketball hoop. We had to cart that up 4 flights of stairs.
That's true, but there was also the added advantage of us asking Pete once, do you think it's cheating if you get a rub and tug? And then he said, yeah, I think that's cheating. And I think that was worth the $60,000 that Twitch spent on this.
Hey, do you know what? I noticed something. I've got another question. So I was on Patreon the other day, and they had they're apparently doing some changes to the payment way or like the currency that they usually charge, and they still do it in American dollars. They might just switch it to Australian or something. But the advertising for that had Nick's face on it.
Why?
I guess he's like one of the top patrons or Patreon associates in Australia. But here's
Holy
the thing.
shit.
He has significant, or like their podcast, the Back Pocket podcast. I mean, it's great and the guys are lovely, but it has less patrons than ours and certainly less than Friendlyjordies. I don't understand why his face was on it.
He's
I
a
can
handsome
answer that.
Handsome boy.
No, he's definitely handsome, but it's also the fact that he doesn't make a living out of saying the most controversial things he could possibly say. And I think the brands want to be associated with people that are nice.
I'm pretty sure he said that GTA was an okay game. That's blasphemous. That's
Well,
canceled.
you know what? That is way worse than anything I've ever said.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know.
It is.
He said it was okay.
The audience is asking who? Nick.
Was Nick?
What's his,
Nick
like,
was
he
the
was-
one with the beard.
He was from Good Game or whatever it was called.
Good game.
Good Game, okay game. I can't remember what it was.
It was called
the name.
Good Game.
Yep.
But was Nick the one with the
Wouldn't it
beard?
be, they should have just called their new show Okay Game. Same faces, less budget.
Yeah. Well.
But they did have like the only thing I can think of, because they started their Patreon when we were still doing it, so we used to hang out with them at the time. They're like, they catapulted to
But they had some genius.
several hundred patrons.
They had some
but then they
yeah.
just stuck there.
But that's because they are a known entity, and on top of that, they're very brand conscious.
Also,
And so they actually
incentives,
know
dude.
how to, market themselves to advertisers. Where I just come up to them and say, hey, I snuck into Craig Kelly's house. Do you want to put an AMP logo on that? I don't think they do.
Hey, were you even supposed to say that?
Well, I've never actually done that. But I'm saying, theoretically, if we ever went and asked for sponsors that aren't sending it, more than just sending us free tea.
I wish bloody.
Well, the same
Max
Nick
Force-
told us that we are unsponsorable.
That's true. I remember that. Because
hurt
the
a
head
little
of
bit.
Twitch Australia came in and said, "Well, boys, I'm going to level with you. It's been great. Really enjoyed the podcast. Probably not worth Amazon splurging close to $100,000 on 20 episodes that we didn't see a cent of.
And
but
we're going to give you another 20.
we're going to give you another 20, but maybe you should look into sponsors." And then we said, "Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen." And then Nick said, "Look, I like this podcast, but let's be real." is that going to be?
Who the fuck's sponsoring it?
Ain't fair.
Yeah.
But hey,
My entire brand is built off of attacking other brands.
Yeah.
yes,
It's very predatory.
here we go. I'm going to break this news right now for our audience too. We are in negotiation with a very, very watered down sponsorship deal.
Are we?
Yeah, which will not give us money, but it will give us commission.
Dude, do you know what it is?
That's right.
Do you know what it is? It's
That's
it's actually the only appropriate way we could get a sponsor.
But it's a good deal for our listeners. I'm not going to break it up now, but let's just say a telecommunication company.
If you could call it that.
Well, it is like
I suppose you can call it
It
that.
has the network of another big telecommunication company whose name starts with a V that are going to be offering exclusive Friendlyjordies.
I don't think that
mobile
brand that
plans.
you're talking about that starts with a V is a big telecommunication company. It might have been when Kramer was the face of it, but
Hey, look,
Kramer's more controversial than I am.
we can't start paying them out already. Like, they haven't even agreed to it yet.
Is it Nokia? I swear it's Nokia.
Buyer beware.
No, so what our audience is going to
it
get
Dodo?
is like a really
I wish.
good mobile deal with like lots of data for like way less than the market price. But the thing is, it's not. If you have your own phone, then it's going to be a great deal.
Well, let's be honest about what this deal is. What we are offering you is Sony Music comes along, says, here's all these albums for the low, low price of $30. What we have is the Pirate Bay of telecommunications companies.
Yeah, but it's like it's not illegal. It's just like it's
not illegal, but it is the same
It's
thing.
a brand
It's a third world country.
that is not true. It is based in the UK.
Is it?
Bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
But it was
UK
set up
stand
by
for-
third world cunts, surely.
Well, look, here's the thing. The brand started off in Australia to attract immigrants to make cheaper phone calls overseas. But now the brand was bought by another big telecommunication player whose name starts with a V, so they have the same network as the V brand. And they are now just giving
the energy drink.
really competitive rates to everyone. The thing is,
Right.
because their brand name isn't that big, they are trying to get market, which is why if you're someone who by the end of like the month when they get their mobile plan bill, it's insane because you've overspent on data, that's a problem that's going to belong in the history books for you.
Well, let me
Keep
just...
talking.
Well, basically,
Let me hear him out.
basically for a fraction
I
of
just
the
want to
price,
I want to join the company.
for a fraction of the price, you will get, let's just say, 60 gigs of data a month. What that price is, what that brand is, and how this is going to work
Remains to be heard.
remains to be heard, and it will come to you when we finally seal the deal.
But just so that
I'm
we're
interested.
back in the good books of this brand, and the reason that I agreed to it is because I think that it is a good deal. Here's a little preview of what we will be saying. Insert company. If I wasn't so lazy, I would switch over from Optus, but I am lazy.
Yeah.
That's my guarantee.
But also, for you, Jordan, you're actually one of the only people for whom this deal is not worth it because you don't
I
have
barely have a phone.
because you have a brick phone. So
yeah.
this deal is really good for people that like data, that like to use data. And so it's going to be a fraction of the price that you already pay. But anyways, we'll get to that later. It is not a pyramid scheme. It's a genuine brand. I'm not taking their name because I feel like I can't take it just yet. But eventually.
No, that's fair enough. You've been very diplomatic as always about this, Ali. I do actually, from what you were explaining to me off air, which is exactly what you explained to me on air, I really do think that this is aimed specifically at our audience because it's about screwing over bigger companies and clearly because it was invented by Pakistanis, I'm assuming.
No,
they
it's
gave a lot of
Don't ruin
gig.
it.
They gave a lot of gig, and that is because it's designed by porn addicts for porn addicts.
No, none of this is true.
Does
Slander.
the UK stand for Uruguay Company Republic?
Spell it with a K.
It stands for
K.
the United Kingdom, but
It
was
is not. It's not the
started-
United Kingdom.
Okay, look, there is a slight bit of cat, but like, why are you ruining a prospect? the thing is, like,
And
it
I
was
bet you it's like the United Kingdom in what's that called again?
Congo or something?
No, the Cayman Islands. What's it called again? British British Virgin Islands. Yeah,
Virgin
yeah. So
Islands,
it's just, UK Virgin Islands.
Oh yeah.
It was started by an Indian guy in the UK.
See?
Okay.
What did I say? Your only gripe with it was that it was just by a country that used to be India, and let's be honest, it is India. Just join it already. Stop scaring the planet with constant threat of nuclear war.
Hey, we
Just
might
end
be
it.
able to afford more than those fucking cardboard pieces if we are nicer to them.
I
We
appreciate
could,
your.
but we're still not going to replace them.
Yeah, I appreciate your like intuitiveness and going for it. Your proactiveness, yeah. Because like I would be like scratching my head to know what company would be keen, but they're out there, man.
They're
Isn't that just such a perfect summation of this podcast as opposed to, because really, Nick, Gus, and Pete, and I highly recommend that you go listen to their Twitch stream unless it competes with ours, in which case I will run them into the fucking ground. But I don't think that they do it on the same day as us, so go for it. And you pretty much are listening to us three, except for replace politics with the politics of StarCraft 2.
Yeah, which
They're great guys.
Legends.
I really
They're
do
really nice
like
guys.
all three of them.
Yeah, they're
and they're
legends.
funny. And
Yeah.
they're insightful.
Yeah.
And I used to just sit there every week before we went on. And I was sad that we had to go and do our podcast because I wanted to learn more about how much GTA 5 cost. I'm really interested in that. Things that I personally have no interest in. I really do like listening to people that are in the know.
you do,
about,
don't you? You like people-
sport,
yeah.
gaming. Well, let's be honest, it is a sport. But
Yeah. Is now. Continue. Well, recently it's gotten more popular, is what I'm saying.
recently.
What? It has. They weren't doing fucking Call of Duty Korean battle games in 1999.
I think they were.
No, they weren't.
Well, when did StarCraft come out? Because that's when tournament gaming started in Korea. As soon as that game exists, they still do it to this day.
Really?
You will go to Korea
I thought that
and
shit-
their version of soccer is
I know
just
that.
watching a couple of nerds
No, I know
sit
that.
there and play StarCraft 1.
But
not
I-
even 2.
Hey,
No,
can you tell us a story of like that video that you saw, or I think you even made me watch where there's a blackout in Korea?
What happens?
It is amazing. There's a news site there, and I think it's called MBC, which means NBC, but they can't say C. So they go, MBC. That was one of their major media companies there. And in fact, my agent in Korea, his name was Moo. Isn't that a sick name? I want to call my kid Moo.
Dude, can I just add something to that
But-
before you go on? When I got in the whenever I get in the lift, there seems to be like a different kind of exotic dog.
Yeah?
I met one the other day. I was like, "Oh, what's your dog's name?" Garlic.
Yeah.
Sweet potato.
A lot
No,
of
I said, "What's your
Asians say
dog's
that.
name?" Not what's for lunch.
Garlic
thing.
is- Same thing. Oh shit.
Do you think that that's why they call it foods?
Actually, that's just a fact. Well, that's just a fact. Damn,
Well,
that was a
everything
good
they
joke.
keep me on.
That was a good joke. But yeah, what's the go? I'm like,
I don't know why, but I think that is a lot more appropriate than what we do in the West. I really despise.
I disagree.
What you like it when a dog is called Bill Shorten.
Yes.
Well, I do. That would be sick.
Yes, I do.
I'd like
But-
that too.
I like those names. But I also like, come on, Bluey. I like those too. But garlic?
I thought you'd be into that. You'd be like, hey, I like garlic.
But it's just stupid. It's just very silly. Very, very silly.
So you don't think calling a Chihuahua Bill is silly?
No, yeah, I guess it's also silly, but it's just it works. That works. The other thing doesn't work.
Well, I think Chihuahuas might be one of the exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, maybe.
If you meet a Chihuahua called Tyson,
Yeah, that's
That's
not
pretty good.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's not
is it?
appropriate. That's the whole point. It's like why your dog's name is great because it triggers all of the genuine Muslims in your family.
Yes, and it triggers like
What's
everyone.
yours again? Nimbin or something?
Not your dad though. Your dad doesn't care at all, does he?
Well, if for a very brief second he cared, and then
Oh
he
yeah,
was
yeah, Satguru.
Rumi.
Can you imagine if he named his dog Sat?
Sadhguru.
Hey, I met someone. Did I tell you this story? I was taking him out for a walk in the bush. I met this guy, and he asked me, "Hey, what's your dog's name?" And I said, "Rumi." I was very, very prepared to tell him, like, yeah, housemate, roomie. But then he was like, oh, Alfred the Poet? I was like, oh, fuck, you know that? He's like, yeah, actually he is. Most people think it's kind of annoying that I'm naming him after a poet. And his was like, yeah, look at my dog. Do you know what his name is? I was like, well, it's like Banjo Patterson.
See, that's nice. I don't mind Banjo as a name for it.
Banjo.
Was it a cattle dog?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good
it
for a
was
cattle.
actually.
Yeah, that's
It was
fine.
actually,
That's
yeah.
fine.
But just call him
Australian.
Banjo. Don't give him a last name. He's a dog.
Also a poet.
But what about calling a British bulldog Winston Churchill?
Too long.
Well, you can only name Churchill.
Winston's great.
Churchill.
I like Winston a lot, though.
But I do like giving bulldogs very gentlemanly names.
Yeah, well, English bulldogs.
Well, Aussie bulldogs as well. Just anything with jowls.
Nah, Aussie bulldogs
Okay.
have to be called like Buster or Zeus
Yeah, okay.
or
Okay, but an American bulldog should be called Mitch McConnell.
Fat Dyke on
Mitch.
Fat
Mitch is
Dyke
right.
on crack is asking, what about cunty?
cunty. Yeah, I mean,
Jesus,
if
Fat
you,
Dyke on crack.
If you hate your dog, I guess.
Yeah, these are all
All right,
options,
should we move on to like our first segment?
What
Yeah.
about poo-poo head for a dog? But yeah.
No, now you're being very silly.
That's too silly.
It's silly as
silly?
Well,
garlic.
the first thing
Starcraft.
is hot news today for the algorithm. Craig Kelly just resigned. What's the latest? I
I
am
don't
very
think that's
happy
going to work
about
for
it.
the algorithm
Why? Come on.
because I don't think enough people know who it is. Having said that, coming out tomorrow, which when this is released would have been 5 days ago. I'm doing a video on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Well,
go on.
I'll give my take on it, and then you can reserve your take.
Please don't say take.
Hey,
You don't like
it's
take?
not
Those are the two tensions in our long and very successful friendship. The fact that you refuse to give up the phrases left and right,
All right.
and that you use the word take.
Take.
And barely ironically as well. You'll put on a faux ironic voice, but you do like the word. And I've got to say,
All
it
right.
does tear me up inside.
my 2 cents.
There you
I
go.
suppose.
2 cents is so much. How much better is 2
is
cents?
better. At least-
my 2 cents, or even just go older than that. My 2 bob.
now that's a fucking cool.
How much
saying.
better is that than take?
Yeah.
Here's
My two Bob is good.
bad 2 bob.
Nah.
Well,
At least he doesn't say
Bad bob.
At least
That's
he
what
doesn't-
you say if it's a bad try.
Bad Bob.
Bad
At least he doesn't
boy.
say banter. That's my like trigger
dude, the
word.
problem with all
What
these
about this?
words
This will
are-
kill you, miss up. This will shave a year off your life. Bant.
all of these words.
Adam Bant.
It's so hard being your guys' friends because words that are like trending very quickly go off in like the Friendlyjordies Sky House.
Yeah, the
I
cubby
remember
house.
when like
The hype house.
I remember the same thing happened. I literally triggered Jordan once because
Yeah.
I used the word cooked 6 months too late into the zeitgeist.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jordan was like, all right, that's it. That's enough. And none of this word.
That's so funny. Fuck.
But I just hate any word that people on Twitter use. Like the fact that they're now using chud. Do you get it? It's a play on chud. I am the product of nepotism.
Dude, his impersonation of any of those kind of characters gets me every time. Every time. I can't not chuckle, like belly laugh. It's so good. It's so aristocratic and, you know, for lack of a better word, privileged.
Jordy's the word dictator. That is true.
Yeah, I am. I'm
We
a
were-
word
dude,
Nazi.
Batsu Barnes is asking, what's wrong with cooked?
I don't mind cooked either.
I like cooked if surfies are using it. I do not like it
Right.
when fucking people with, no offense, Ali's glasses on Twitter are using it. And that's what really screwed it up for me. And that's probably the reason that Ali uses
Can
it,
I
is
be
the
honest with you
glasses.
guys about something? I am very seriously considering for the first time in my life getting contact lenses for that reason.
No, it does actually suit your face.
I know,
though.
but like-
and you don't
more
have the
hipster.
buttoned up shirt. To
But like
go
also,
with it.
why have you noticed this? And I'll be the first one to say it. Every Indian man that is not POV in Australia looks like me. Beard, glasses. The only difference is that their opinions are slightly more cunty than mine.
Yeah, true.
But I'm not that far off.
Yeah. And when I was in Pakistan, and as soon as you sat in with your friends, couldn't tell the difference. It was impossible.
Why do all
that
of
was
us
a
wear glasses?
police lineup.
I swear that's
know.
the thing. All of us wear glasses.
Yeah,
Because you've all got shit eyes.
Why? Why?
I don't know. Asians just have shit eyes.
The brown man.
You go to
Right.
Well, it's not just Indians and Pakistanis. You go to Korea, everyone wears glasses unless they have
That's cool.
contacts.
Maybe that's like a
Yeah, you're
fucking
right.
genetic advantage you guys have. You get skin cancer, but you don't have to wear glasses.
Yeah.
Why
that's-
do you all have bad eyes?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, surely you need them just as much as we do.
Especially, dude, the desert's a harsh land, I assume.
Well, no, all of those places are deserts, and Australia is mostly desert. But
True. But yeah.
anyway, so
But the
look,
white man
moving on
stole
from
this
this. So, like, look, my 2 cents on Craig Kelly was that this is the first time that I think there might be a non-liberal MP in
Hughes.
Hughes, because look,
Well, let's be honest. Was he ever a Liberal MP?
but we'll reserve that for your thing. But like, come on, don't you think that the vote bank, the Liberal vote bank, is now going to go between him as an independent, the Liberal Party, whoever their candidate would be, and then the Labour Party candidate?
Well, when I was speaking to Jack about this, he was saying the same thing, that he thinks that Labor has a chance in hell of getting the seat of Hughes now.
Oh, really?
Man, because
And I hope that it goes to that chick that you like, because
How
she
does
sounds like such a sweetie.
how does it
Anyone that
work?
hands out pamphlets of how to vote for them at a train station, I'm voting for them.
How does it work
It's just,
now?
well, I'm glad that I wasn't in Tony Abbott's electorate, because seeing him in his jacket going, "G'day, remember me? I used to be on Sky News a lot."
and now my ex-girlfriend is.
What? Handing out pamphlets?
No,
Oh, she's
on
running
Sky
for
News.
Hughes. What?
Is that a controversial thing? I thought that was known.
What?
Your girlfriend is on Sky
No,
News.
not my girlfriend.
Oh.
His girlfriend,
I
Tony
thought
Evans.
yours. I was like, damn, I didn't know she was a politician and a teacher.
Peter Credlin. That's what I'm talking about. Jesus.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Ali is secretly dating Peter Credlin?
And if that's the case, I'm definitely getting pegged. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ali. I think there is a chance that someone else can sweep it out from underneath his feet. And I'm especially happy about it because Craig Kelly is now going to be doing damage to the Liberal Party. He's saying at the moment that he's going to remain loyal and vote like a Liberal MP, and he probably will be in 99% of the cases. But the fact that he is holding that power, you know that he's doing a lot of backroom deals. And he will just be saying, "Balls in my court, cunts." But the reason that he resigned in the first place is because for the past 2 terms, the Wets, who control New South Wales, have been trying to oust him. Pretty much because they're like, "Oh my God, he doesn't like the theatre." And I'm pretty sure that's really the cultural divide in the Liberals, isn't it? Dries think that the ballet should be funded. Wets think theatre should be funded. And that's why I'm more of a Dry than I am a Wet, because ballet's so much better. Oh, guys, come on. Can we poll this? Ballet or theatre? What's more entertaining?
I reckon
I think
they're both the same. I don't know.
They pretty much are, aren't they? It's just too much prancing, not nearly enough
Yeah,
no.
dude.
Too much dancing, not nearly enough prancing.
apparently like ballet is disfiguring girls permanently. Like it's the female version of footy. Like you get concussions.
What?
But except in this case you get like spinal injuries and like
it fucks your feet up, that's for sure.
Well, it's definitely our equivalent
the
of
hustle.
when they used to bind Chinese princesses' feet. And I have the same views as old Chinese emperors had. It's hard. Ballet dancers are hot.
are all
Is there such a thing as an ugly ballet
No.
dancer? I don't think that
that's
exists.
it's your kind of hot.
It is my kind of hot.
Your kind of hot is different from certainly my kind of hot.
You don't like him?
He makes them big
Well,
nuts.
you like
You funny fuck.
Why? What?
He's a funny
that was
fucking cunt. He's a
the
funny
one
cunt.
non-joke I've made.
I know, but he's just a funny cunt. I'm putting it out there. It hasn't been said enough. This cunt's a funny cunt. Go on.
he also likes the body
Yeah, now
of,
there's a guy that likes ballet.
you also like the body of 12-year-old boys. That's your
Yeah.
shtick.
And I suppose that is kind of ballet dancers, except for
I think it's hot.
the body of a 25-year-old tradie.
I think it's hot, but you know why I think it's hot? I think the work is hot. I don't think the figure is necessarily even hot.
Like the discipline and the
the
drive that you
bleeding
need for
feet.
it. That's true.
I really liked Black Swan, which is just like, ow, my feet. I'm like, damn, you're working hard for you. Ballet dancers work their asses off for their
Is
art.
it true or is it because Natalie Portman said so?
No, it's true. My
I will
mum used
take
to
that
do
because
ballet.
I don't know much about
No,
it.
Her
we
feet are
went to
still
Newtown.
fucked. Her feet are still fucked. Yeah.
I think every single dancer now has scoliosis and arthritis.
Yeah, arthritis is a serious thing. Yeah, my mum's got it from ballet.
This was the other
we
thing.
should
There
do
wasn't
this.
like God Newtown was OP'd.
Come again?
I just went to UNSW and you were just used to living in Nirvana and then you go into purgatory, which is the real world. But when we were in Newtown, it was like 2 girls for every boy. And also 2 out of 3 of the boys are gay.
Yeah.
So we had pick of the
harem,
litter
yeah.
of the hottest chicks in Sydney, which is chicks from the Shire, check. They're already hot to begin with, but they're also dancers. And there's no such thing as a dancer with a bad body. And also on top of that, they used to starve themselves, so they had good skin.
And they don't have problems with
You've
smoking.
you've
They all
overthought-
smoke.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Shout out my first girlfriend, remember? Year 7.
Oh, McNamara,
We
who's
probably
now
shouldn't
dating
say her name.
some
No, let's probably not say all this. Maybe.
McNamara is like every Irish
dating some
person in the
Penrith
world.
Panthers hero. But anyway. And
All right.
let's be honest, that's who
What a
she, she shouldn't be
downgrade.
dating someone from the Panthers. She should be dating someone from the Sharks, but I'll let it slide.
Hey, Butsu Barnes is asking, wait, starving gives yourself good skin? That's a Jordan question.
Yes. No, it doesn't. I don't know if starving yourself gives you good skin, but I'll tell you what does. Fasting.
Yeah,
Fasting
True.
gives you
That
good
is-
skin.
well, that's the same
Fasting
thing,
gives
I
you
guess.
good everything.
Sandy just messaged saying, fuck Jordan. I assume because it's just going to be like, Jordan calls out some random Penrith Panthers player saying he's not good enough for his wife. News.com.
No. She'll just be sitting there going, "Oh my god, he said that dancers are hot." And let's be honest, yeah, they probably will clip that out
And-
of context.
wait
But
a
I'm going
sec.
to defend it.
For
Dancers
the
are
record,
hot.
What,
Sandy,
that is
I don't
cancel worthy
think they're
now?
hot.
Wait, that's cancel worthy now, saying that you think dancers are attractive?
No, because but I'm just saying there's
Christ.
diversity over here. I think chunkier is better. So, there's enough diversity over here. So let's not get all canceled.
Quota.
You like average women, neither too slim.
That's the whole thing.
That's
I
right.
like classical dancers. You like contemporary dancers.
I like rap video dancers.
he likes BET. I like ballet, and you like crackheads.
You're such a cunt.
That was
Oh,
unnecessarily
you're such a cunt.
true.
Oh, fuck off.
Let's be real. Like you like that crackhead look though. That's your thing.
I don't know what a crackhead look is.
It's just the more.
I like pale skin tones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The more someone looks like the mum in Train Spotting, the better. It's true though. That is your take.
No, it's not.
It is.
God,
All right,
I'm not
look,
going to win this.
we move on to our second segment. This is a quick one. Mishlev, did you know? Facebook,
You know. Sorry,
yeah.
I did
I
watch.
just really need to know this, Ali. Why do you like them, as Plies would say, thick?
Well, there's I don't like them necessarily what you're thinking of, but what I do like is, I don't know, someone with a little. I'm telling you, it's an evolutionary thing. Bigger bottoms are better for childbirth and shit. Bigger. I don't know. We should be.
But that doesn't explain me then, because I actually do like chicks with my body.
because your body is telling you.
Basically.
Your body is telling you that your seed is not worth spreading.
Man, I thought you should. Wait.
No, yeah, you know what it actually is telling me? It is actually telling me that. It's just from birth, I was genetically predisposed to, you're just going to be in a career couple. You're not going to have kids. You're just going to have a dog that a nanny looks after, and you're going to live in an eco house. That's really what it's saying to me, I guess. You're
Mate.
right. But that's the thing. The reason that I can trace it back is I like women that are clearly very disciplined. I think that's why I've always got a thing for ballet dancers and news anchors.
Why? I didn't know. I didn't know
specific.
news anchors are really disciplined.
Well, I just imagine that
Aren't
you would
they all
have to be
functioning alcoholics? I swear they're all functioning alcoholics.
news anchors.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I
Cokeheads.
read about one who was saying that she was a functioning alcoholic.
Who?
Can't remember
Cokeheads
the
are
name. Not
cokeheads,
even that
probably.
big of a news anchor. One of the people that work in the background at I think Sky News or some shit.
See, that's what I think. I think that you could be a functional alcoholic if you are on Sky News at 2 p.m. But if
It's
you're
a
one of the
requirement,
main
dude.
people at the front, like, dude,
ABC?
Peter Overton, I know this for a fact, Peter Overton and Mark Ferguson are extremely vain. And you've seen that footage that went viral of the three chicks going, oh my God, you wore the same outfit.
Yes,
I told you not to wear that. Yeah, I think that, like, to be a news anchor, you have to be, in prime time, you have to be in your prime. Otherwise, they're just going to get rid of you.
Like they did with Megyn Kelly. Boom.
Yeah, and remember when there was that guy, I can't remember his name, but obviously you kept Brian Henderson because he was an institution. I think that they pretty much kept him because he did this at the sign-off to every... Do you remember this?
No, I don't even know who
remember
you're
Brian
talking about.
Henderson?
No, definitely not.
God, I love that guy.
Is he the guy on the ABC who's like, I have a grey streak in my hair, and you know I'd be a nice man? Okay.
I think I'm thinking of Richard Moorcroft.
I just assume that's every.
But he was very handsome as well.
Okay. So anyway, I don't know.
Brian Henderson was the exception to the rule, but I think that he more than made up for it because his sign-off was for, I think, 50 years. Ali, put it on me. This is Brian Henderson. Good night.
Was he the old guy?
amazing?
Was he the old guy from like Win Regional News?
I'm sure he did his time at Win.
Okay.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just went straight there because it was the time when everybody thought that television was some kind of sorcery. and maybe he just rocked up straight into the Sydney offices and was just like, well, I look like I smoke a lot of cigarettes. And so they just thought, yeah, get him in there.
Park his penny farthing outside and get in there.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, but I remember that after that, there was another guy that they put on that had the most experience in journalism, i.e. went to East Timor and had a gun pointed at me.
It wasn't loaded, but it was still scary. I'm just guessing.
And you're right as always. Psychic missile strikes again.
Damn it.
But then he got kicked out purely because he looked like an old Quasimodo. I remember it to this day. And then they replaced him with Mark Ferguson, and then Mark Ferguson didn't rate and they got rid of him. And then they went for Peter Overton, not as handsome as Mark Ferguson, but with slightly more experience.
I love these experience levels. Like, what does that mean again? I've done more coke. Like, that's what it means. More experience.
No. What about this? I've held a glass of brandy and looked smugly at a lot of executives.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what they trained for in college.
It's really cool thinking about them having some kind of gamer bar at the top of them that, just like in Morrowind, the more you play it, the more experience points it has.
Yeah. You ate half a dozen oysters. 3 points.
Yeah, it's so true. You bought a house in not North Ride.
Good choice.
50,000 experience points.
All right, perfect.
Good ride. Good
Let's
choice.
move on to something that is slightly more meaty. Well, I don't
think
even
you
know
can
much
get more
about
meaty
this.
than that. We were talking about thickness.
Quite literally, meaty. But, Miss, did you find out Facebook is about to reinstate all news websites back?
I did see that on my gym sesh.
What do we feel about this? It was fun while it lasted?
Yeah. They've
also,
just
isn't
caved.
it clear that, the government caved, right?
No,
But
it's
they were
Facebook
going to-
caved.
No, fuck
No, the government
There's
caved.
no way Facebook caved.
Well, they came to a compromise, but Facebook got more of what it wanted.
Really?
Wait, so
Yes.
do you know anything about what the compromise was?
I don't know, but I am assuming that because Google just gave a payout to the big three, so Stokes' Media, Fairfax, and the Murdoch Press.
This is fucking ridiculous.
What?
Why do they get payouts? This is so unfair, man. Like, I know that, like, the whole Google and Facebook are the future, evil corporations, but, like,
But they're still burgeoning in their evilness.
well, but also the fact that, like, Murdoch has the entire government by such balls that he forces the government to pass a legislation to give him over market advertising rates. Because, like, look, Facebook or Google isn't going to pay us anymore. I'm not saying that they should pay it. Like, I mean, ideally, I would like them to pay us more, but I'm not complaining about that. Why does the richest person, one of the richest people on earth, get to, like, force another organization to, via, like, our government that we elect, to get them a better deal? And then also, when you say this, the comment section go like, oh, you don't know what you're saying. Facebook is evil. I'm sure they're evil, but, like, this fucking Murdoch evil giant has the entire government by balls that they can force them to pick fights with huge corporations that can have, I don't know, like, I'm just saying, like, have you guys noticed that this is a little unfair?
Ollie's corner.
Discuss? Is that what we're saying here? Do you think it's unfair? All right, let's just do a poll on that. Do you think that this is... Do you agree with Ali?
That it's unfair.
That Ali should have been in that Senate committee and he would have spoke reason to them.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous that how much power Murdoch and like the media giants have.
But I just thought that everyone knew.
Well, I didn't know that.
And I find it awesome because, as I've just been saying a lot recently, it's created a dichotomy of power. So that's great.
Because of Murdoch and his like extra fucking, I don't know, $50,000 a month, entire Australian news network, at least through Facebook, was blacked out. So we were suffering the consequences.
We weren't
and
suffering.
And also we were like, well, look, I mean, technically we were suffering the
I
consequences.
certainly wasn't suffering.
You were suffering from success.
2 days, yeah.
Suffering from success.
For 2 days.
They should have a suffering from success 2 and then in brackets days and then get my face looking like DJ Khaled's on the front.
With a tear tattoo.
And then just a
tear
tattoo, sure, why not? But also a ring that has Facebook on it. Just the logo.
Yes! But it's gold?
Yeah, okay.
Like blinged out?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good
Because I thought
idea.
it was a gold decision.
Yeah, dude.
But I'm pretty...
Argue with that.
Well, look, I understand how, like, in our subjective circumstances that this ban was good, but I'm talking about the country, all right?
No, I think it was good for the country as well.
Well, I get
it starved boomers of propaganda for 2 days.
I'm not. That's not what I'm arguing. I know that it did, and it was like a net good in that way. But I just don't like that for like a small media oligarchy, they can convince the government to put the entire country at jeopardy.
At jeopardy?
Well, look, I mean, I understand like how blocking the news, but from their perspective, the government
Whose
at least,
perspective?
from like the government's perspective, having access to news for Australia is a good thing or a bad thing?
Good thing.
Good thing, right? So they're willing to let that good thing go to appease openly this media lobby, basically Murdoch and Fairfax, right? For them, they're willing to put the entire country in darkness and not willing to budge. And then also, the fucking irony of this whole situation is that you go into the comments, the media Murdoch machinery is so powerful that they can even manipulate public opinion, where people just go like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Facebook is really bad. Murdoch is not as bad. It's like, well, this one guy has the entire country by the balls, and somehow we're still supposed to look away from them for like a future dangerous prospect.
Is that what people were saying in the comments? Because I saw a lot of people under, say, the Herald Sun saying, this is really bad. And also, here's a bunch of stories about how Facebook helps pedos. Just coincidentally, we just put that out on the same day that we got blocked.
Facebook helps pedos. Okay.
Well, you didn't read the exclusive.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I think it's... I didn't read into it as well, but it's just the same thing that the media does. This is what they did with Jodie McKay. Just tenuously link them to pedos.
Right, Jesus.
I mean, it's the way to sully someone's name.
Well, it is,
It's the way to do it. And also, when you look at Zuckerberg, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very possibly.
Very
Is he
possibly.
he's a robot?
His name's Zingerberger.
Yeah, that's true,
Dude,
actually.
he is a fucking robot, though. All those memes of him, it's just like,
Alien.
How can one man be so pale? It's like he's the palest man on earth.
Well, that's very fitting for somebody who created a social media empire.
Hey, Stoll. Take that.
What do you mean
the
still?
bank?
Oh, from
The
like
guy
Andrew
from V
Garfield?
for Vendetta. Yeah.
What, so Andrew Garfield got like $4,000 out of Facebook?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
And he created it.
2 words for that.
And
Suck.
wasn't
But
like
that's every
Facebook
story. Same with
supposed to be
Macca's.
like original Tinder? Like he did that to get laid.
Well, it was Tinder for a while.
Was it?
I can guarantee you there was a lot of hookups back in the day that would not have eventuated if I didn't have access to Facebook, where you could just sit there and slide into the M's.
True.
And just
Yeah.
Well, isn't
like,
Instagram?
"Hi, what are you up to? NM, lol."
Instagram is a dating app now, right, Miss Love? You reckon?
I think
It's a dating app
Yes,
for
would
hot,
agree.
dumb people.
Because like even don't say it. I asked Miss Love because Miss Love is the only single person, so Jordan and I both live vicariously through him. So I was forcing him to contact this girl on one of his Facebook thing.
FB.
And Jordan, Miss Love was like, I can't contact her on Facebook. That's too creepy. I'm gonna have to do it on Instagram.
Yeah, that's the
Which
vibe.
means Instagram is a dating site.
It pretty much is. Yeah, it pretty much is. It's that, and like, I assume it's still used by companies selling things. But other than that, it kind of has become a thing of like, yeah, dating or like talking to people, meeting people. You wouldn't really, I don't think you would do that on Facebook as much. Facebook's just kind of seems to be for boomers now. And keeping in touch with people that, it's easy, but on Messenger.
But some people still use Facebook for like, those news articles and sharing things. I don't. I always thought that Facebook is now just for boomers.
I think it is.
But I feel like some Gen Y, it's Gen
The
Zoomers
only reason I'm on Facebook is the Guitar Pedal Exchange website.
and Messenger.
And Messenger, and that's it.
All right, so that's what it is. It's just for boomers to keep in contact, and it's the modern day trading post.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Marketplace
is what it's
Marketplace is huge, and that's a big. It's just Gumtree. It's just like another Gumtree.
Global Gumtree.
Yeah.
Well,
So you're not missing out on anything.
yeah, I know.
I don't even like.
I don't
yeah.
think that you're just missing out on social media in general,
Yeah.
except for Friendlyjordies. But apart from that,
Like and subscribe.
Also,
And buy a shirt.
Can I ask another thing? I know this is way too late in the controversy, but can you explain to me if you know this?
Camera on you. Don't fuck this up. It's live.
No. Like, I'm just generally.
seat.
This is a curious
that's
question.
what we should rename this podcast.
So
Yeah.
Google, like, what is the basis for Murdoch or news websites to charge Google extra? Because the way I see it, I know this is a really outdated conversation, but like the way I see it, it's just a search engine, right? It directs you to the website anyways. Why should they get extra money?
For no reason. No.
So they're straight
it's
up-
just they're really just extorting money out of these poor, extremely poor companies that have no cash flow at
Facebook?
all.
And who are like the journalists are suffering. But man, most journalists suck balls anyways.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing. I wish that they completely blacked out all press.
Jesus.
I do think that that's true.
Technocracy.
I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was Benjamin Franklin, but one of the founding forefathers said, if you don't read the papers, you're uninformed. If you do read the papers, you're misinformed. And I think it's better to be uninformed than misinformed. I think that people would make more rational decisions if they were voting purely on what the flyers in their mailbox told them, as opposed to the news.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody thinks that the news is impartial.
That's
You've just
true.
been conditioned and brainwashed into thinking that it's this
True.
completely non-biased umpire entity.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at those pamphlets, you know what it is. And so really you're just voting on whoever comes up with the best pamphlets, which is the Liberal Party anyway. Just cut out the middleman.
They have the best pamphlets?
Fine. Instead of just constantly cozying up to Murdoch, it'd be so much better if they just got a bunch of companies to Xerox paper. You'd probably make more jobs as well and lower income jobs. And it'd have the other bonus of all of these bunyip aristocracy, nepotism class, pale cunts not having a job.
I see why you'd be. Is the bigger picture here just like Google versus Murdoch? And here's the only difference. They're both evil. It's just that Murdoch is propping up mining companies and coal, so they're going to destroy the earth. Whereas like all the technocracies, all the tech and data retention companies are just sort of like, we're evil too, and robot dogs are going to kill you, but we like the Amazon and we don't want to destroy the world.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I
That's
know
the
which
difference.
horse I'm betting on, at least
Exactly.
temporarily. At least until like the robot dogs start running after me.
Yeah, there was really no downside to this week. The only downside is that Facebook said, yeah, we're going to put back news.
Do you
So
know,
what
like,
happened? What
can
actually happened with the
okay,
negotiation?
I'll give you like one example of like, I was recently reading this. I think it's either the UK or the US where there was a court ruling that said Uber drivers are Uber employees. So that's a judgment which will have to be legislated. That's a good one. Because you know who it helps? It helps like hundreds of thousands of the poorest people in the UK who drive Ubers. This is helping two rich guys.
Who won out of this?
I feel like there's a better way to take on tech companies.
Yeah, obviously.
Who won out of this?
Huh?
How did Facebook win? Seems like they didn't.
They obviously got concessions.
Right.
I think that what happened is Google went behind closed doors and gave out some sweetheart deal. I think they ended up paying. It was so pathetic. I bet you Murdoch and Fairfax spent more on lobbyists, more on legal battles than they actually got out of this deal. Because Facebook and I think it was just Google. Google ended up giving them a payout of I think about 10 million each, just to ScoMo's mates.
It's just
they
extortion.
might have just gotten a small amount of money more than what they would have just by going along with the ride.
But if that's a one-time lump
Right.
sum payment, how is that supporting journalism? That's just like you just extorted a company out of money.
I think that what happened is it became a war of attrition, and people within the Murdoch empire were saying, this is stupid, we're really not going to win this. And it was kind of just a token of face. It was like in the trade war with Trump versus China, how China got everything that it wanted out of the trade war.
Did it?
And yeah, just to be nice because it benefited them as well. They said, okay, we'll buy more agricultural goods from the US, which they were planning to do regardless, but they gave them that win to save face. I think that's what happened behind closed doors.
So basically, Facebook won and Murdoch lost.
I think
Because
so.
if it's a face saving, and I think that's true because whatever happened, we don't know what happened behind closed doors, but it's very unlikely that it was a win for the government because you could see the government panicking.
Yeah.
Like right after that happened, they hadn't prepared for it. They didn't expect it. And to be fair, and I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion coming from me and me only, Panthera. I think Facebook did the right thing. Telling them to fuck off. Like
That's not an unpopular idea. That's a very.
I think they did the right thing too.
I think our government,
agree.
the liberal run government, is overreaching on a lot of other things. On a lot of things, like messing with Facebook is putting our population at risk when we don't have the capital or the strength in sheer population size to be able to deal with that. Like we could get crushed to be able to deal with someone like Facebook. Look, at the end of the day, we love our country and everything, but we're a small country. We don't have the same level of bargaining power that's a country like China or the US does. When they pick these big fights, at least there's a chance of them winning. When our government, without even asking us, picks these fights, I know we're going to lose. How are we supposed to win against the next dominating global power that these tech companies are?
Well, it's the only fight that they were ever going to pick against a global power. And that's what was so beautiful about it, because it caused a rift. And I was talking about this to you off air as well, Ali. I think the right person to ask this question to is Mislav. He's clearly going to be the biggest expert in this field. But
no doubt.
if you were the Liberal government...
Rookie. Left and right of me. Rookies. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go
Hey,
on.
I'm on the left.
We're in the
right.
masterclass with Mislav Balabrajic now. Here's how you govern. Cucks. But I was asking Ali, and I don't think that you gave me an answer to it, because I don't think there is an answer. But if you were in their shoes and you have down the corridor a bunch of lobbyists from Facebook and Google saying, don't you dare pass the bargaining code, and then you have Murdoch and Fairfax saying, you better pass that bargaining code.
Yeah.
What do you do in that scenario?
If I'm the libs.
If I was the libs, I think that I played that out exactly how it should have been played out, because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario for them.
I think...
Actually, let's ask our audience.
Yeah, what would you guys have done if you
but-
were Scott Morrison and knowing that your power base is the Murdoch press? You owe your prime ministership to the Murdoch press.
Yeah, what would you do? Jordan
And also the fact is, but you're also pissing off two of the most powerful companies on earth. These are companies that can block the president of the United States from speaking. And did. What do you do?
That's crazy.
I think, well, while we wait for an answer, Adbot said suicide. But I think, look, it's a difficult question to answer because we know the power of one of the lobby groups, which is the Murdoch and the Fairfax. We know what they can do and how devastating that can be. We are yet to know what happens when you've got Facebook and Google on on the other side. We'll
I-
see. We are yet to see what their powers.
You know how I sort of disagree though. I think with what you said, and like, you know how you were saying we're a small country. There's no point. You might be right, but the reason I thought it was fucked is that the libs were doing it on behalf of Murdoch to get an even stronger stranglehold on like the news in Australia. Was the fucked part. It's like, why are you fighting for this cunt? Like that's. But if they were fighting for, let's say, a freer press or something,
I agree
then
I agree with that too. Look,
then I'd say go for it. Who cares if you fucking lose? It's the
look,
principle.
then that's the sacrificial element that comes in here. If it's truly a good fight, if you can truly see that whatever this fight is, it's against, it's against the Goliath or whatever, David.
Yeah, then
it's
it's worth it.
One.
Of course it's worth it.
And if it's something that like truly helps most of the population, then I can be willing to get behind it. I still know we're going to lose, but at least that would be a life worth losing,
Yeah.
But when you're fucking sacrificing us for like a really, really rich guy because you're afraid of him, and then you expect me to be like really loyal.
But then and also just like another tyrant. It's like we choose a tyrant. It's like But
that's the struggle of history.
Yeah, it is. But that's why I say, it's almost complicated because on one side, it's like, I don't like the idea of that Facebook can have complete control over information like that, which, let's be honest, is the reality. And that is kind of worrying. But, I think that they're less evil than Murdoch.
Well, remains to be seen, but we know for sure that Murdoch is evil. It's the probability thing, right? On one hand, you have Facebook, which can be really evil, or it can be like okay, and then you've got Murdoch, which we know is evil.
Yeah, but
who do you pick? A mathematician would pick Facebook.
Yeah, no, they're both evil.
Because at least there's a chance of it being less evil.
Well, they're both fucking evil. It's just Facebook, I think, is slightly less evil because they're not funded by coal companies. They're funded. They have more. They have more of a. If anything, probably more funding from Silicon Valley, like turtleneck jumper wearing hippie billionaires that buy big swaths of the Amazon. That's better.
Well, for climate change, certainly. But look, I think we've been, here's some good news. Have you checked WA polls?
No.
Yes, I have. And I enjoyed it thoroughly.
What do you think? The opposition is saying that this is going to be like a Bill Shorten-like thing and the polls will be completely off. I don't know how off. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But I don't know how off these polls can be. But it looks like
Shorten's polls were off by like 1 point.
Yeah. Talk about Dictator Dan. It's going to be Dictator McGowan, whatever his name is. He is the true dictator.
Isn't it already fucking Labor in Western Australia?
Yeah, but it's going to be
Mo. Apparently they're about to wipe out the Liberal Party.
Mo Labo.
I think that's just the key to winning elections.
There's a poll that
gain power and then shut off the border.
Do they have a Senate in Western Australia?
Yeah,
they do. But apparently,
but he's gonna have more trouble controlling the Senate.
But look, the fucking the Parliament. If the polls are right, the Liberal Party is gonna be left with 2 parliamentarians.
Wouldn't it be amazing if that's was
crazy
wrong?
for
and
Perth.
They have 1.
Yeah,
that's the opposition,
and it's just
it really would be the parking meter party at that point. They should just go with that.
And it's just
change your name because it's too toxic.
Fuck. But it's great. So the thing is, lockdowns are really popular. I don't know why the Liberal Party is anti-lockdown, thinking that's going to get them votes. I think most Australians love lockdowns.
I know, and they're also trying to have a really nuanced opinion about it, of saying we want a lockdown, but just not a hard lockdown. You've already lost the public at that point.
Yeah.
Plus, Perth,
stop trying to explain.
Perth was the OG, the originators of the lockdown. They did it before fucking Melbourne, like the first wave. And didn't have one case.
No, they've always been locked down. Like, as soon as there's there's one case in Bali, they're like, lockdown.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're great at it. It works.
I thought it was something that would get them, but I was talking to my mom and my brother, who are truly the average person.
Hey, we're on 420 viewers.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
And they were very supportive of these kinds of lockdowns. They're like, yeah, close the border. You don't want anything coming. You just want you want the community to be safe. And that's when I knew that, okay, maybe lockdowns are the popular strategy.
I mean, I suppose they're just common sense, aren't they?
Yeah, I suppose.
It's so funny that in America, because they're such freedom-loving, bald eagle dudes and girls or whatever, that they're just sort of don't lock me in my house. I want Cheerios. And Australians are just sort of just like, yeah, sick. Just fucking watch cricket.
I never leave my house anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to leave it ever. It's fucking mad. It's so much better. So much better. It's so
And
lazy.
also just Australia's constant suspicion of outsiders. It plays on that as well.
Yes, just being like out
But
there.
I think everyone has a suspicion of outsiders. I think this is a really good tactic.
No, but I
Being
meant like
tough.
on outside. I wasn't even talking about outside. I was talking about like interstate travel lockdown. Like, sure, even when it comes to outsiders, I'm on the same boat. Fuck them. But I was talking about like, people going from like Queensland to New South Wales. I feel like that should have more tolerance.
You could have a travel bubble from where? West Australia to Northern Territory. No one's doing that. Why would you want that travel bubble?
Yeah, that is a
Just keep Northern Territory locked out permanently. It would have no impact on your economy.
No, it wouldn't. I assume it wouldn't. South Australia too, for that
what
matter.
have they got there? Maybe crocodile meat. There'll be a severe lack in Western Australia.
Yeah, and that is troubling.
Okay, Jack Lang is base.
You changed my mind.
What to do?
Yeah.
Jack Lang is base deaf, says, let's face it, even if there was no pandemic, closing the borders would still be popular in WA.
That's what I think.
Yeah, they want to secede.
Do they like
McGowan
people?
delivered.
I've never been to WA, but like, do they like when people from the East Coast come and visit, or they're just like, fuck off?
Well,
No, they like
I've got to say that it has to be the friendliest town in Oz.
But that's because you're famous. But do they
No,
like
even
us?
Nah, they're nice
random
people.
Meth heads that are always the only place that they have there. I don't even think that Coles exists there. All they have is Hungry Jacks. But every time
So
we're there
many
getting
Hungry
you
Jacks.
can't not go to Perth and have Hungry Jacks.
No.
It's kind of like going to Singapore and not having Singaporean noodles.
Yeah, Singapore noodles. Yeah, he's right.
I like how Michelle's just sitting there, is like the hype there. He's like, that's right, yeah, Singapore noodles, yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the little John of me. Just every sentence.
I'm just that like dude who bigs up the rappers, being like, yeah, man, you crazy shit, man. Yeah, fuck.
That's all you need to be on one of those hip hop southern stations. Is to just sit there and be like, yeah, word. Oh, so you're taking a break from an album? True.
Yeah.
You're working on that.
Yeah.
You got to take up your time. And then like the next guy comes in. Yo, you've been busy, man. You've been putting out 4 albums. You're showing all of them other rappers that this how you do it. This is how you get on your grind.
Yeah. Back with Sway in the mornings, yo. Get at it. Yo, Kanye, I'm not saying that, dog. I'm not saying that. Yo, you need to calm down. No, we don't. I get rid of these microphones right here. We don't need these microphones. We can turn these cameras off and just talk. I love that interview. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't seen Sway in the mornings interviewing Kanye?
Is Sway the one that you see interviewing every hip hop artist?
Yeah. He's mad.
And there's like a
I'm a
guy
big fan.
there that you look at every time that's just on a DJ set that I think as soon as Def Jam Comedy went defunct, they just went, yo, you want a job, man? He's like, oh, I need one. Yeah. And then he just went in there and you just squint every time. You're like, are you Mexican or black? I can't tell. Is that guy?
Very, very probably that, yeah. And there's also a girl, a lady that is also like a hype up. She just like laughs a lot. She's just like, that's the stuff. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm a big fan.
And you can see the pain in her eyes because you always think you wanted to be Nicki Minaj.
Who didn't?
I want to be Nicki Minaj.
But
Yeah,
Ali
it's just-
genuinely does.
Look, the general consensus of the comments about WA people was, look, we're pretty mad about people from the East Coast. We don't care that much.
Nah, yeah.
You can't not care. You're too unpopulated to notice, and not enough of us go there. But I will say this to anybody that is thinking of going somewhere, especially in this COVID time. This is my
COVID.
Look,
go to Western Australia. Go to West Australia.
Yeah, go.
West Australia
You'll have
is
to go next
the
time. You'll
best
have to go.
state in the country.
Would you be sad?
In terms of, it's just nothing but a
kinda like
toxic waste dump. But
It's kind of like it's very like African desert looking. It's very deserty.
I'm sure it looks
yeah, it does.
cool.
It
I've
looks
seen
like
the
how I
Mad
imagine
Max
South
movies.
Africa would look.
I've seen Mad
Yeah.
Max. Like, I know it would look cool. But here's the question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed would you be if there was a Wexit?
I'd be really sad.
I'd be sad. Because then we can't... Cause
I'd
then,
be as sad of a Wexit as I would be at a news entrance.
I wouldn't mind a news entrance. I'm kind of pro news entrance. But
I'm actually pro news
because you
entrance
just want to be able to go to the Lord of the Rings tour site without having to get out your passport.
I think like
that
it's
is
funny.
an added bonus, but that's not the only reason.
It's
Well,
the
is there
accent
any other
too.
reason?
I think Kiwi
Better
accent is
slopes,
the best
bruh.
in the world.
I strongly disagree.
I think it's the funniest.
It is the
it's
funniest.
It is the
Because like,
funniest.
look, coming from an outsider, you first learn the Australian accent, then you get a hang of the Australian accent, then you listen to someone from New Zealand. You know, it just sounds like it's an Australian person, but they're retarded.
Yeah, it is
So it's funny to
Yeah.
me. It's really funny to me.
Well,
funny to
I think
me.
that it sounds like they're an Australian with a sock in their mouth. Everything sounds like this.
sucking them.
Wait, Ali, come on, give us a go.
Yes.
Give us your best New Zealand accent.
Well, I've got a new house and there's a big dick in the back.
Yeah.
You know what?
No, not bad.
He's better at the New Zealand accent than he's the
Any other
Australian
one.
accent.
Hey.
Any other one. True.
I've got
Yeah,
a
you
few
are.
under my
That
belt.
was pretty good. You could be married.
Yeah.
Hey, I wish I was.
But I would be sad of a Wexit because it lowers the chances of me going to Fremantle and just possibly seeing Kevin Parker at all. It just the chance goes from the chance of seeing him now is like 1%, and then it goes to like 0.5%. So I can't have that.
And you're also missing out on a key reason that you would be very sad about that, and that is that you can't go and look at that Bon Scott statue.
Yeah, again. Yeah, look at it and go.
The Fremantle
Yeah,
statue.
then nudge me in the ribs and say, he's from here, you know?
Yeah. And let's not
I
forget.
didn't I? I'm sure I did that. And then I stared at it and just was like,
You're
not
very
that
lucky
good.
that I was there instead of Ali.
why?
Because after you nudged him in the ribs, he'd turn around and say, who's Bon Scott?
Yeah, and I would have been like, what?
Oh,
Struth!
isn't that AC/DC?
Oh, do you know that?
Yeah, I know that.
How do you know
was
that?
I
So-
have to do the citizenship test.
Yeah, fair
Fuck
enough.
off.
Fair
Are you
enough.
joking?
It
Was
should have
that
been
on there?
questionable.
Ah,
it
okay.
wasn't. But
Should be.
it probably
Yeah.
was.
Dude, Frio was
But
pretty
also, like,
disappointing, let's be honest.
Here's another fact for us East Coast
Rio
people.
was just Bondi with a lot of fish processing plants.
Yeah, Frio was just like, here's...
No, you know what it actually was? It was Newtown by the beach.
Yeah, which is nicer than
And
Newtown.
also actually was Newtown by the beach because, as we learned, there is just a bunch of secret fishmongering factories there.
Yeah, it was weird. And it was also just sort of like, here's something you'll never see anywhere else in Australia, an Italian flag. Oh, I didn't know there was an Italian population here. Well, there wasn't a big one. Come back again.
Did you look at the prison? No. Don't worry.
You didn't miss me.
That's essentially a Simpsons joke. I can't believe you guys could be
Oh, dude.
Simpsons right
Okay, guys.
At this point.
Is this I've got two. I need to make this video. I don't even think it'll get very good views. It'll get 130,000 in 2 years, and I'll be fine with that. But we really need to make. I was going to say the top 10 Simpsons jokes, but we're going to have to level it out to 30. Minimum. Minimum.
Yeah.
That's too much.
But I think the two big entrants for it is Homer watching TV, and then you hear a presenter on the TV say, "Tonight on Wings." Who cares?
So good. I don't even know what Wings is, and it's funny.
And also, Kearney doing the shittest dance on earth when Marge is a teacher, and Marge saying, "That's a very nice jig, Kearney."
Yeah.
I love that.
Pummeling Bart.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Now, should we go into this or should we go into the Up Late podcast? But
We still got 5 minutes.
I'm a born again Christian.
Oh yes, we
There
will
we
do
go.
that on the
We'll do
Up Late
the
podcast.
Up Late podcast.
Finally.
Here's a sizzle for you.
Yeah.
Make sure that you become a member for just, let's be honest, extremely overpriced payment weekly. You can get more of this.
I'm gonna. Here's the thing. This Up Late. Look, like I said, I've been looking at the stock market, and I have recommendations for our Up Late audience exclusively, so that you can make back every dollar that you spent on us. Viewer
Damn
discretion is
straight, and I'm
advised.
following the
I
advice
am not
too.
an economist, and I may tank all your money, but I have a feeling that I won't.
No,
I
he's
have a
right. He's right.
short-term investment for you, a medium-term investment for you, and a long-term investment for you. None of these
I bet you the
investments.
long-term investment is invest in BHP.
No,
Midterm, silver.
no. How about this? Let's
it's the phone company
I'll
we're
do
getting.
I'll do one. I'll do the
Alright,
long
yeah,
term one now.
Vodafone.
I'll do the long term one now. It is a company called Pointera, not Panthera, Pointera.
Shit.
Look it up. It's less than $1. It might not work out, but it could be the next Google as well.
Okay, so instead of being a robo debt collecting company, what?
Micros of the man 12 said, I would not take a commie's financial advice.
Fair enough. But this company,
I think that you should
has
take a
made
commie's financial
some,
advice because their entire life is critiquing capitalism.
Yeah, true.
So they know what works.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing as when a lot of people say, oh, politicians are corrupt, myself included. But I think that another big factor of it is you understand how society functions. And as a result of understanding how society functions, you can make good investments. It's the same thing that, like, I'm constantly researching how the housing market is evil for a living. And I just keep coming back to the same conclusion. Man, I need to invest in the housing market.
well,
Really?
yeah. But even so, I'll give you like a little. So this company that I'm talking about, I wanted to keep like the short term and medium one will be up late for like. But look up Pointera. It's a Sydney-based company that is basically developed a cloud. That what they will do is, or what they are doing is, that all of the the data that comes from drones that maps like entire towns, like for town planning, for all sorts of stuff. It's basically a cloud that analyzes the metadata and it makes it into like shapes and stuff for you. So it's really useful for companies that get those metadata footages and want to be able to analyze it and showcase it to their clients. So basically what I'm saying is this company has like insane potential. Will it happen or will it not happen? I don't know. But the share price is under $1. It's worth just buying a few and just keeping it in the back.
And you're trying to spike the stock,
You don't need to think of what?
Trying to spike the stock.
Well, with like our incredible...
This is
I
awesome,
wanna
isn't
do
it? It's
this.
just like CNBC, Ali's Hour.
Yeah, but anyways,
Sick.
I wanted to keep this for the up late because I've been...
Silver.
But the medium term and the short term one will be for
Please
the
say
up
Yeah.
silver.
No, I'm actually really excited because
silver, Jordan.
I need to start doing that shit because here's my fucking financial advice. Don't bother going to Westpac for a fucking high interest savings account. These bloody returns are shit. You know why? Because you're COVID. All right, tune in next week. Fucking
yeah,
shit.
don't park your money in banks. You actually end up losing money.
Fucking bullshit.
But thank
But
you
I
for
think that we
joining.
all know why you should become a member of the Up Late podcast, and it's because of Miss Love's financial advice, not Ali's. We will see you next week.
Like I said, all advice is based on my own individual understanding. I might be wrong. You might end up losing your money, but it's if you end up spending like $100 on it, it's $100 that you lost. That $100 could eventually become $5,000. So I think it's worth spending.
I back
Well, my
myself.
advice is spend it on sports bet.
I back myself
No.
100%. If I'm wrong, I'll give you my address and come fight me.
All right, thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see some of you, the good ones of you, for the Up Late podcast. If you haven't become a patron, please do become a patron.
Yeah, we're not going to wear any pants in the Up Late podcast. In fact, we're not going to wear any undies either. We will be sitting here with our
Balls.
shirts on,
Cock and
but the
balls.
rest of it all out, and we'll be giving financial advice
And
while half naked.
if we get 1,000 patrons, which is a fair few, we will make the human centipede.
Jesus.
yeah, okay, yeah, fine.
All
That's
right, well, thank you guys.
that's a
Well,
fair one.
my bag's being in the front.
All right, well, that's your move, but I want to be in the middle.
Forever